Good morning, Eagles, sixth grade Eagles. This is Miss Petty and Miss House coming to you with our little lesson. Today we're going to go over a statistical question. We are still in 6 SPA1. Recognize a statistical question as one that anticipates variability in the data related to the question and accounts for it in the answer.
And good morning, Eagles, sixth grade Eagles. This is Mrs. Towles, and Ms. Petty and I will go over this, and I'm going to give you your lesson objectives this morning, which are understand that data generated from statistical questions will vary. Recognize that responses to statistical questions have variations that can be used to draw conclusions about the data set, and identify the difference between a statistical and non-statistical question, and to write simple statistical questions. Those will be our objectives for this morning.
Yeah. So let's get right on to it, and I'll full screen now. I always put this in the wrong place. Yeah. So we're going to identify statistical and non-statistical questions. We'll start with our example and then do problems 1 to
1 through 7?
yeah, 1 through 7, but we're not going to answer all of them for the kids. We're going to leave some out. Well,
Okay.
1 and 2 on the first page.
All right. So anyway, your first example is Abigail asked her classmates 2 questions. Are the questions statistical or not? Explain your answer. So what your example is, what is your favorite after school activity? What do you think what would be the outcome? Would it be more than one outcome, or would it be only one outcome? So think about that. What is your favorite after school activity? She asked her classmates, so that means there will be more than one outcome. So this is a statistical question because you can expect a variety of answers, and you can use the answers to make a prediction about a larger group. Go ahead, Ms. Petty.
All right. And so then she asked her classmates, on what day does the computer club meet? So when you ask all of your classmates this question, how many answers do you think you're going to get back? So you just keep on thinking about that, and you'll realize you're only going to get one answer for the computer club. They meet Wednesdays at 3:00, but that's when they meet. They don't meet every day. They don't have 20 different computer clubs at school. So this is not a statistical question because no matter who you ask, the answer will always be the same.
Exactly. So our first question is, explain how you can tell whether a question is statistical or not statistical. And we already just went over that. So I expect you to write down an answer in there yourself because we just recently went over that.
Right, and the answer needs to be based off the definition of a statistical question. Don't pull the answer out the air.
And also, please write a complete sentence. So a complete sentence begins with a capital letter, okay? Ends with a period or a question mark, but there would not be a question mark because you're not given a question.
Number 2, Maxwell asked 20 classmates these questions. Determine whether each question is statistical or non-statistical and explain your answer.
So question number A, 2A is how do you travel to school? B is how many students in the class ride the bus to school? And C, what time do you get up on school mornings? So she's asking classmates, and you have to determine whether you're going to have either one answer or more than one answer, which will determine whether it's statistical or non-statistical. And on your side right here, you have a vocabulary word, which just says statistical question, a question that can have a variety of answers and can be used to make prediction about a larger group. So anywhere on your paper where you have vocabulary words, make sure you read those vocabulary words that are in bold, and they will assist you and help you with answering your questions.
So do you want to give any hint for number 2, Ms. Howell?
Okay, how do you travel to school? Now you got it. Go ahead.
I am a car rider.
Okay, so she's a car rider. I travel to school. I'm a car rider too, but I could be a bus rider.
Right, or a walker.
So what is that telling you? We're going to have more than one answer, guys, so you can figure this out. I know that you can.
Right. But let's see. Let's go on to our independent problems.
So it says the directions are use the following. Use the following situation in table 2, solve problems 3 to 5. So you got, who's that? What's his name? Miss
Paula.
Acts 26th graders a question and then displayed the results in this table. So you see you have the table number of pets, which are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have more than 4, and then you have the number of students, which are 2. So when you have 0 pets, you have 2 students. When you have 1 pet, it's 8, and so on. So you have a table right there.
So he has a variety of answers, it looks like.
Exactly. So what question could Paulo have asked?
So this question, you guys try to answer that on your own. You can pause the video. Let's see, should we fill it in? Ms. Howes, what question do you think he asked?
He could have asked how many. I'm thinking. He could have asked them how many pets does each student have?
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Because the number of students is not going to change. We know that that's our independent variable back from our previous module. Because that's something you can count. So the dependent variable would have to be number of pets. That depends on which student you ask.
Exactly.
And you get a variety of answers.
So that means it would be a statistical question, young people.
Now, 4, if Paulo asked 20 different 6th graders the same question, would he most likely get exactly the same answer?
Think about that, guys. If he asks all these people the same question, will he get the same exact answer? Think about your friends, and when you ask questions, do you all come up with the same answer? So then that answer would be no.
Right. It depends on the question, really. Because what if you ask the class, what time do we go to the restroom? And they all know, after the lesson.
However, some people still go different times.
Well, if you ask the class, what time does class start?
You're gonna get one answer.
One answer. And then what's your favorite color?
Purple.
For the whole class.
Yeah, but everybody's gonna ask a different what? A different answer.
Right. So which one is a statistical question?
What color?
Right.
What is your favorite color?
Yes, that's how he got it. I'm just kidding. Okay, so.
Are you editing this, Miss Petty?
No, that's a good one. See, because the kids, they get confused sometimes.
All right.
I like it when they're getting it and then they say something that's close but not there yet.
Right.
And then it comes to them and their eyes light up. It's so wonderful.
All right, question number 5. Based on Paulo's results, what prediction could Paulo make about the 6th graders in his school?
Let me go back to his results. So, he has different results based off the students. What can he say?
So what he can say, if you can look at the number of students. So here we have it, the number of students that are 8 and 5, which adds up to at least 13 students. They usually have between 1 and 2 pets.
Right.
So I think that Paulo can predict that most of the students in his class have between 1 and 2 pets, or 1 or 2 pets, or no more than 2 pets.
And since he can make that prediction for the class, well, he knows that for the class, he can predict that about all the sixth graders as well. Most of them would have between 1 and 2 pets.
And then somebody may ask me a question, how do you know that, Ms. Towers? Because when you go back to the chart and you see the number of students, you see 2 students have 0 pets, 3 students have 2 pets, and then you have 4 students have, 1 student has 1 pet. So when you look at the large amount of numbers between 8 and 5, 8 plus 5 is 13 students. 13 students have at least 1 or 2 pets.
Right.
So that's how you would get that answer.
That's absolutely right. I totally agree. Okay, that is not the eraser. Now, 6 and 7. Write a statistical question and a non-statistical question that you could ask your classmates about computer games. So 6, I expect you guys to fill that in with a statistical and non-statistical question. Once again, what is a statistical question?
A statistical question is a question that will have more than one response.
Right. So you need to write a question that will have more than one response and a question that will have only one response. Number 7. Ariel wanted to ask her classmates a statistical question. She decided to ask them, how many books have you read this month? Is Ariel's question statistical, and explain?
So think about that. How many books have you read this month, her classmates? So think about your class. How many books have you read? Is there someone in your class who may have read more than 1 book than you have, or less books, or no books? So think about that. That would be a statistical question because you're going to get more than one answer. Now, you will have to explain why that is a statistical question. But of course, I already explained it for you, so you can write that down in a complete sentence. Starting out, the answer may vary depending on what?
Who you ask.
Exactly.
Right. And that's it for today. So today we should have went over what a statistical question is, understood that a statistical question is a question that gives us a variety of answers. I have exit button. And even come up with our own statistical questions. Let's go. I am trying to get back to.
And young, if y'all have any questions, just email myself or Ms. Petty, and we will Zoom with you and assist you in any way possible.
Yes.
But we miss you guys.
We do. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day and week. And be sure to ask us any questions. And also, do the next 2 pages. Now I want my annotation song. So they have some work that they can also do without us. And they're going to be making their own table.
You know, you're still recording, right?
Uh-huh. I want them to see. This is for them. So they have this page as well. So this would usually be homework anyway. So they're going to make their own charted table, and they have to answer just a few things. So they'll be okay. But if they have any questions, they can definitely email and ask us about it. And now.